Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel, Princess Leah 888. And this is your daily divine weekend wisdom, daily divine messages from spirit. And we are going to be celebrating this new month of May. So happy May. Happy birthday to my May babies. And happy Friday as well. And happy full moon in Scorpio. We got a lot of things to be happy about today, don't we? Lots of things to be grateful for. So, I am going to get us started. If you are new to my channel, welcome, beloved. I am an intuitive artist channel with the mission to do my part to heal the heart of the divine masculine and the sacred feminine through conscious love. If you're not already a part of my Vibe tribe, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know whenever I go live. And if you are a returning family or friend, thank you so much for your support. Beloveds, welcome back. And make sure you hit that like button on your way in or out. Greatly appreciated. Lets other people know that we're here today. We got our Palo Santo clearing the energy. And we have a little bit of a different order that we're going to look at the cards. I was being told uh, before we get into the cards, we're going to tune into our heart chakra sound bowl, see what kind of messages might be coming through from the gracious, omnipresent, divine love through our heart space. But we have some messages that want to be told. We had this full moon in Scorpio today, so the Moonology wants to speak. The Four Agreements wants to speak. We have some Akashic Star Child Tarot, as well as the Beyond Lemuria. So we're going to see what kind of energies that we're going to be taking into this brand new month and this weekend of our first weekend of May. This is the month of summer. So it's getting hot up in here. Let's go ahead and place our hand on our heart. If you'd like to join and feel what kind of messages might be coming through for you during this sound bowl healing, any messages that come up for me, I will be sure to share them. So you can close your eyes and take a deep breath. I'm hearing the expression, the rarity to have it all. And that takes me to the other expression of having your cake and eating it too. What does that really mean? I feel like the connotation behind the phrase having your cake and eating it too is solely to almost instigate a guilt for wanting everything that you desire, and being able to have it all. And the question is, can we? And sometimes we feel like we can't. In a relationship, we might feel like we can have, some of it. Maybe we can have a partner who is kind, but maybe doesn't fulfill other needs. Or maybe a partner who fulfills some of those passionate needs, but isn't really emotionally available. And this is funny because this car alarm has been going off the last half hour or so. And I think that that is an interesting message and communication in this channeled message as well. how the alarms are going off. And I'm hearing this as I'm talking about this reference to can we have it all? I feel like this is an alarm that's going off within a lot of us because maybe we have been fed the belief that we have to compartmentalize. We have to, I'm hearing, cut off from some things that we desire in order to have other things that we desire, instead of being able to honor all that we desire and align with all of that in a healthy, authentic, and I'm even hearing morally correct way, ethical way. And I guess that is why some people feel that you cannot have your cake and eat it too. This is an interesting downloaded message. This is only going to resonate for a small few, I believe, but it might resonate for you. I learned to stop asking Spirit why these messages are coming through and if it's appropriate to or not. So I'm hearing, though, that we tend to be disalarmed or alarmed by this thought because it is something that we fear, or is something that we were taught to fear, or perhaps it's something that others who have instilled that message in us fear. Because if we really do believe that we can have our cake and eat it too, so to speak, we can have it all. We can have the partner that for lack of better words, I don't like to use this phrase, but checks every box. To have the life that is emotionally fulfilling, spiritually fulfilling, physically fulfilling, sexually fulfilling, and be aligned with the gracious, omnipresent divine, the source creator of conscious love. And to not have to, I'm hearing, cut corners or burn bridges or step on toes, those kind of things. You don't have to cut yourself off even. You don't have to compartmentalize yourself. You don't have to choose between having an emotionally fulfilling relationship that maybe is not fulfilling in another way. And I'm hearing this not just with people, but jobs, having a career that emotionally fulfills you, like a purpose, passion that you love, but doesn't financially fulfill you. I'm hearing, starving artist syndrome, right? Or if you are in a relationship or a marriage and it's a beautiful, love-filled marriage that you emotionally absolutely love this person and adore this person, however, maybe they don't fulfill you in other ways. Maybe you don't feel fulfilled in the bedroom or sexually, or maybe you feel fulfilled, or maybe you don't feel fulfilled, you know, emotionally, but you are having your financial needs met. It's these things that I think we as men and women have fallen into the distorted feminine and masculine belief systems of that you have to choose one. You can't be emotionally intelligent as well as sexually intelligent as well as intellectually intelligent, so to speak. You can't have the perfect job and the perfect partner and the perfect children. And I'm hearing, though, there's no such thing as not being able to have the perfect thing when you look at it from the standpoint that everything under God's creation is perfect. That's why God, God, is called the gracious, omnipresent, divine. Because the gracious, omnipresent, divine wants nothing more than a fulfilled, satisfied, beautiful, harmonious, healthy life for us. That is exactly why we agreed to come here. And that's why it doesn't feel right when we are told to believe that we cannot have our cake and eat it too. And we cannot have this beautiful, perfect fairy tale happily ever after. Even saying it, I already hear the backlash of it's just not possible. Life is not a fairy tale. Love is not. We have to go through the root. We have to burn, suffer, and you have to earn love and earn this satisfaction, and even then you have to compromise and settle and and. But I'm hearing so clearly in my heart, in this heart space, in this heart frequency, that simply is not true. That it is our birthright to be fulfilled in all of our hearts and souls' desires, to be satisfied fully, to be fulfilled, full of love, full of bliss, full of ecstasy, full of pleasure. Because that is our birthright. That is our birth mission. That is our soul contract with the gracious, omnipresent, divine. It doesn't mean you have to do it in a unethical, immoral, unhealthy way. Because that's not love anyway. That's not even divine love if you have to do it in those ways. But there is there is a way for you to fully, freely, and deeply love, live, laugh, enjoy, appreciate every aspect about your life. As you tap into the true, authentic, unapologetic, amazing, abundant soul being that has been kissed and blessed by the gracious, omnipresent, divine that you are. It's really beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. I received that message. I receive, I receive, I receive. I feel it. I feel the love. I feel the love. Tap into that heart space. So this is the card that came through first which is from the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which I'm absolutely loving. That I just saw a post from my girl Alicia Keys talking about this very deck here and the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I love that she reads the book and has this deck. I've had this deck for 4 years. My cousin gifted this to me for my 30th birthday. And that just makes me even more in love with Alicia Keys and her soul, and just truly believing that we are soul tribe. And that just is confirmation that we are truly only, what, 2 degrees, 6 degrees away from, you know, all the things that we truly desire to align with: people, places, things. That's why this fourth agreement here is coming out first, to make sure that we know how important it is to always do your best, and to do your best because you want to. Because you want to do your best because you want to live a life in abundance and ecstasy and bliss. You want to live a fulfilled life. You want to be satisfied. You want to be in pleasure and feel pleasure. You want to adore yourself and your life and your partner and your children and your parents and your siblings and family and friends and your career. You want to do your best because you want to live and experience the deliciousness that gracious, omnipresent, divine has already blessed and bestowed and ordained for us to experience in this earth plane, in these human vessels. Yes. Amen. Ashe. Damagauri says, you do your best when you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. Thank you. Confirmation from this download. I'm going to say, I got to say that again. You do your best when you are enjoying the action. Okay, sit with that. When you are enjoying the action is when we do our best. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to, not because you feel that you're trying to please the judge or anyone else, not because you're trying, not because you have to be in and create negative repercussions in order to enjoy or in order to do your best, in order to get what you want. Look at that. When you know you are genuinely aligning with your true authentic self and co-creating an abundant life of joy and pleasure and bliss and abundance and ecstasy and love, you do it because you want to. You know what? This is taking me back to unconditional love, and how unconditional love is the very, I think, is the best way to I don't have the right word, but unconditional love is the best way to move others and yourself in the right direction, in the direction closer to alignment with source, with your true authentic self, versus guilt and shame and, you know, uh, um, scorning and criticism, judgment. When we think, and maybe because this has been happening to us, but for way too long now, we have been believing as parents the way to discipline is to do it through punishment, to do it through pain, to do it through, you know, force, or put fear in them, right? The fear of God in them, so to speak. But that is an oxymoron in and of itself, because God is love. And love is not fear, because love and fear are completely opposite energies, and they cannot be in the same room at the same time. and they can be in the same room, but you can't hold space for both of them at the same time. They can both be true, they can both be present, but ultimately you choose which direction you're going to let your energy fall under, fear or love. And so I'm hearing, think about when you've been scolded or punished or felt ashamed or guilted into trying to be however someone wants you to be, or trying to fit a mold, or trying to follow these rules, or trying to be a good boy or good girl, quote unquote, versus when someone just receives you as you are, loves you unconditionally, forgives you every moment that you are growing and learning is a moment worth loving and forgiving. And personally, I learned and I experienced wanting to be a better person, doing my best because I wanted to, because I was given unconditional love, not scorned, not ridiculed, not shamed when I made a mistake. And in that love, in that space of unconditional love, it made me want to do my best more. It made me want to be a better person. It made me want to be a better person for me. It made me want to be a better person for the person who was giving me the unconditional love, because I didn't want to keep messing up and making mistakes and being forgiven over and over. Some people might do that and take advantage of it. But if you have if you have a conscience, eventually you will realize that that is something that's not fair to the other person, right? And eventually, if you have a conscience and have those kind of, you know, cognitive uh, awakenings, you will start to say, how can I do better because this person deserves more? How can I do better because this person deserves better? When gracious, omnipresent, divine God, Jah, Allah, divine spirit, however you want to call it, forgives us unconditionally after we make mistakes, after we are not in alignment with our true, authentic self, we're always forgiven. We're always forgiven, and we're always given more mercy and grace. How do you know that? Because you're still living, because you're here to listen to this part of the message, because your heart is beating, because you have blood running through your body. That's why, that's how you know you're given another chance, because it is May 1 of 2026. It is a brand new month, and we are alive to see the day. It is a beautiful day because we get to wake up today. And that is unconditional love and grace and mercy, regardless of what we did yesterday, regardless of what we did last year, regardless of what we did these past 30 years. And that's what this full moon in Scorpio is here to help remind us. Look at this. Full moon in Scorpio, can't make that up. It's time to release negativity. That is what this full moon in Scorpio is helping us lean into, move into, is releasing negativity, releasing these false beliefs, releasing these disempowering truths, these limiting truths. The full moon in Scorpio is here today for us to close out cycles of unworthiness, not enoughness, not good enoughness, of feeling like you don't deserve or are worthy of a whole life of a fulfilled life, of true love, of abundance and everything that your heart and soul yearns for and desires. That is what we are releasing. That's the negativity. So, full moon in Pisces, sister sign to Scorpio, another water sign, balance spirituality and practicality this weekend. Okay? And the new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. Oh, I like this. I like this because sometimes we think that in order to have a fulfilled life, we have to get something in order to get a fulfilled life, in order to have love, in order to, you know, it's about what can I get rather than what can I give. Instead of seeing it as what's in it for me, see it in as how is this also how is me being in alignment with my true authentic self and loving the deliciousness of this life, of this human experience, of the and being living in gratitude and abundance. How is that giving to this world? And how can we give that same kind of unconditional love back into this world? When we are fulfilled, we have a full cup to give. I'm seeing the Ace of Cups in my mind's eye in tarot. When we have a full cup, we have and we can pour into others. But when we are trying to pour from an empty cup, then we cannot. I see the Queen of Cups, then we cannot give our true, authentic, full self. And therefore, law of attraction, what you give is what you get. If you're giving from an empty cup, you are going to receive emptiness. If you are giving from a full cup, you will receive the fullness of gracious, omnipresent, divine love. Such a beautiful thing. So here we have the King of Wands for the weekend. I love this. Lead by example. Lead with your passion. Follow your passion. Lead with your heart. This King of Wands is unapologetically following his passion, even if he is the first one out the door to do it, the first one paving the path to do it, the first one I'm hearing in his family to walk out, to walk away, to shift from lack and poverty into abundance. The first one, Five of Crystals, the first one. And maybe that has caused some, exhalation. Is that the right word? I just made that up. Maybe that has caused you to have been exiled or turned against or even fired at work or broken up with because people didn't understand what it was that you were doing. Yes, look, the Tower. You might be in this energy this weekend. This might be something that might waken you so much that it crumbles the foundation of what you have known life and love to look like and be. And that means you have to shift. You have to walk away from it all. Sometimes people have to walk away from you. Look at all this green for the heart chakra. Unfurling back to love, balancing spirituality and practicality, right? Balancing your soul desires with your practical fruit manifestation. That is yin yang, that is feminine and masculine energy merging and working together. And you can do that within yourself because we all have feminine and masculine energy within ourselves. taking our ideas and creating a movement, bringing it into fruition from the desire. That is the balance of spirituality, practicality. That is the balance of Pisces, Virgo, which I love that we have because they are the opposing signs to each other and they are on the axis of the North and South node right now. The North node in Pisces, South node in Virgo. Balancing our spiritual self, our higher self, and integrating it into this physical realm, manifesting it into physical fruition. And sometimes that means that will cause a tower. It will cause, because that what's happening is you are having an enlightenment moment. And what Oprah likes to call it an aha moment. You're having a moment where your spirit, your soul is like, this is the truth. This is my truth. This is the truth for me. This is what I've always known since I was a child. This is what was put into me that I carried as a child, the truth that was in me that maybe got beaten out of me, that maybe got scorned out of me, shamed out of me. This emotional truth, this emotional fulfillment, this emotional joy. So go within this weekend to see where are the faulty foundations that are crumbling so you can start to rebuild from the foundation of conscious divine love. Beautiful. So let's see what Beyond Lemuria has to say, what Izzy Ivy has painted and channeled these beautiful artworks for this weekend here. I love this. Vulnerability. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. When we open and awaken to our vulnerability, when we step into the vulnerability of giving rather than taking, when we step into the vulnerability of balancing our spirituality and practicality, of bringing our desires into fruition and stepping and walking away and even allowing things to be taken away or crumble away, that vulnerability, that is the key. Number 56 might be a significant number, which reduces to 11. And it wants to stay out. Look, vulnerability leads to your life force energy. I love this. Number 34. That might be an age for some of you. I just turned 34. And hopefully you can still hear me after my alarm just went off. But that was the 5 minutes of happiness alarm leading us into expansion of our life force energy, of pleasure, happiness, bliss, vulnerability. Vulnerability leads us, directs us, guides us into alignment with source energy through our life force energy. And you know where they say our life force energy is stored is in our sacral chakra, the core of creation. Because the sacral chakra is the chakra of pleasure, of creation, because pleasure, the thing that pleasure comes from creation. Creation gives us pleasure. We are in our most blissful, ecstatic space when we are creating, co-creating, procreating. When we let our Kundalini awaken and align with our life force energy, with source, divine, we then experience all of the beauties, the blessings, the benefits that this life has to offer. And it is something that you can experience, that you are encouraged to experience, that you are welcomed and invited to experience, that you need to experience because it is yours to experience. Okay? This is beautiful. I hope that this helps. I hope that this touched somebody's heart and sacral and is awakening you to the truth that you are worthy of experiencing the fullness of life's pleasures and beauties and benefits. We are all in Taurus season right now, which is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and abundance and beauty. So that's why we're feeling this right now. And let tonight's full moon, the moon's already in Scorpio, so we're already in these deep emotions. Let the depth of the Scorpio emotions cut past the hard shell of the Scorpio and tap into how soft and vulnerable really the insides of a scorpion is. Take away the shells, let the shells fall away, tap into your vulnerability, let that vulnerable part of you show and give that vulnerable part of you to the world, to your beloveds, because that's the true gift that you can give. I love that. I love you. And if this is resonating with you, give this video a thumbs up. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I hope you enjoy your full moon. Write out your little full moon intentions of what it is that you are releasing and the cycles you are ending. Burn it so you can transmute that energy into the ethers. And you can even put it in water for the sign of Scorpio if you desire, if you would like to do that. And then you can pour that into a plant or onto the ground, into earth for the Taurus season. If you would like to do that, the earth sign Taurus, and let that flourish and grow into abundance and beauty. Okay? That's up to you if you would like. But if you do what you do, enjoy it all as you do. That's the most important thing. And until next time, my beautiful beloveds, I will see you in the next moon. Peace and love. Namaste. Bye.